Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to speak on over who is the most skilled fighter in each division. Now what this means is who is the better mixed martial artist. Not the best wrestler, not the best boxer, not the best kickboxer, not the best jiu-jitsu. Who is the most well-rounded fighter in these weight classes, each individual weight class. In the flyweight division, I chose Steven Ercik. Now, my enemies were between Brandon Moreno and Steve Ercik. Now, I ultimately chose Steve Ercik because Moreno is upon a decline. He lost to Rivera recently, so I chose Steve Ercik. You know, Steve Ercik is a very good boxer. In my opinion, he's a top 10 boxer in MMA. He has very short combinations, as shown in the Matt Schnell fight, the David Dorvac fight, and the Pantoja fight. You know, and he has lots of precision at range. You know, he was popping that jab out at Alexander Pantoja. And whenever Pantoja would try and blitz in, he would counter him with an elbow. And that was just something big, you know. He's a very good boxer, very fundamentally sound. He's not the fastest guy, not the most powerful guy. He's just a very skilled fighter. He has lots of submission wins too. Back when he was fighting at Eternal MMA. Very good grappler. You know, his base is really his grappling, really, but he also is a very good boxer. Reminds me of Topuria. You know, Topuria bases his jiu-jitsu, but he's known for his boxing and stuff. And Steve Ercik reminds me of that. Next up, in the bantamweight division, I ultimately chose Peter Yan. Now, this was a no doubt for me. In my opinion, he's still a very good fighter, even though I don't believe he's in his prime anymore because he had them losses. But he's still a very good version of himself, and I still believe he's the most skilled fighter in his weight class. He's a top 3 boxer. As shown in the O'Malley fight, he outboxed O'Malley. He was piecing up Aljamain Sterling. He was piecing up Corey Sandhagen better than Umar Nurmagomedov. Peter Yan had him more entertaining, and he also put more of a beating on Sandhagen. While Umar, he beat him, but it wasn't like he beat up Corey Sandhagen. No. He was boxing up Song Yadong in the second and third round with those uppercuts. Also was mixing the takedowns. And another thing people don't talk about Peter Yan is his kicks. His kicks are so underrated. He has very fast switch kicks. He was hitting Sean O'Malley with those switch kicks. He knocked out Uriah Faber with his switch kick. And he was also messing up Corey Sandhagen's body with those roundhouse kicks as well. He's a very underrated kicker. And in the later rounds, he's in the matrix, like he's in his flow state. In those later rounds, he's almost impossible to beat. Like, in the later rounds, Peter Yan is just so good, you know. He also is a great wrestler too. I believe he's a better wrestler than Aljamain Sterling and Merab Dvalishvili, even though he got out-grappled. But I believe he's a better wrestler than Merab. Merab is just a guy that spams takedowns. He does not get tired, you know. In a pure wrestling match, no, I trust Peter Yan to score more points than Merab Dvalishvili, you know. And I also believe he was a better wrestler than Aljamain. You know, Aljamain, shot like 20-some takedowns and only got 2 of them. Congrats to him. Because the 2 takedowns he got, they were huge, you know. But he had to, just shoot all those takedowns just to get Peter Yan down. I believe Yan take down Aljo with ease, I believe, you know. And take down Marab. And Peter Yan, he out-wrestled O'Malley better than Aljamain Sterling did. Aljamain was struggling to take down Sean O'Malley, you know, because he does not have that striking threat. When Peter Yan is fighting O'Malley, he has that threat because Yan has good boxing, good kicks. Sean O'Malley has to worry about that. When Sean O'Malley is fighting Aljamain Sterling, he does not have to worry about that because he just has to worry about the grappling. Aljamain does not have a striking threat, and when it comes to power, there's no concern back in O'Malley's way. So, in my opinion, I think Peter Yan is the most skilled fighter in the bantamweight division. And I also forgot to mention that his fight against Jose Aldo, the early rounds were pretty close, but as the fight progressed, Yan was starting to beat him up, and he ended up TKOing him in the 4th round. Next up, for the featherweight division, you got Alexander Volkanovski. Now, you could go with Ilya Topuria. I would not mind if you go with him, but I'm going to go with Volkanovski. I believe he is a very elite striker. He schooled Max Holloway. In their 3rd fight, he was winning the 1st round against Topuria. He beat up Alexander Volkanovski. He beat up Brian Ortega. He beat up the Korean Zombie. He just has lots of good wins on his resume. He started as a grappler, but is still one of the best strikers up in the UFC. The Yair Rodriguez fight, he was able to strike with Yair Rodriguez, and he was also able to mix in his wrestling. Like, we never seen Alexander Volkanovski, who took a wrestling first approach to a fight, like in the Max Holloway fight. He took a striking first approach. Against Islam, he took a striking approach, of course. Against Ortega, he took a strike first approach. The Korean Zombie, so on and so on, The Yair Rodriguez fight, he actually took a grappling approach to the fight, and he beat up Yair Rodriguez on the ground. And then up in the 3rd round, I believe, he threw a right hook as Yair was coming in with a combination, rocking Yair. And that sequence was a thing of beauty. He threw some punches, threw a knee to the head, a body punch, and a smooth takedown, and just ended up beating Yair on the ground. And a very good performance by Volkanovski. Well-rounded fighter, very well-rounded. He gave Islam his toughest fight at UFC 284. Going to the fight, people were saying that Islam's gonna run through Volkanovski. He's too small, etc., etc. And the fight happens, and Alexander Volkanovski, he proved us wrong in the wrestling department. Up in the wrestling department, he survived on the ground. He showed good takedown defense, and in my opinion, he won 2 out of the 3 rounds. That was the end of his prime. As soon as 294 hit, then he eventually ended up getting KO'd, and that was just the end of his prime, I believe. But he's still a very skilled fighter, Yeah. Next up, in the lightweight division, I chose Islam Makhachev. There is no doubt about this pick. I don't believe you can pick any other lightweight. So I chose Islam Makhachev. He's the best grappler in mixed martial arts. He smoked Charles Oliveira up in the grappling. He was out grappling Dustin Poirier. He smoked Dan Hooker. He smoked Bobby Green. He smoked Drew Dober. He just smoked a lot of guys on the ground. And in my opinion, he's also a top 15 striker as well. You know, he outstruck Alexander Volkanovski at UFC 284. He also knocked him out at UFC 294 as well. He outstriked Charles Oliveira on the feet. He dropped him, which led to the submission. He also outstruck Dustin Poirier, outboxed Dustin Poirier as well. Islam did not even use his kicks, and his kicks are the main aspect of his striking. I believe his kicking is better than his boxing, and he also outstruck him. You know, so he's just a very well-rounded fighter. You can argue that he's the greatest skillful fighter of all time. In my opinion, he's higher than Khabib upon the GOAT list. He has a lot of very good wins. He's dominating these guys, aside from the Poirier fight and the Volkanovski fight. But I believe he clearly won the Alexander Volkanovski fight, the first fight. Rounds 1, 2, and 4 pretty clearly. And you can even argue 49-46 for him winning the third round. You know, that fight wasn't as close as people make it out to be. Like, it was competitive, but in my opinion, he had a clear winner. But aside from that, oh yeah, and he's also going to beat Arman Sarikian whenever they fight. So there's going to be another name. Well, it's already on his resume, but he's going to have 2 times, you know, beat Arman Sarikian 2 times. So yeah, in my opinion, Islam is the most skillful lightweight as of right now. Up next, in the welterweight division, I chose Belal Muhammad. He's a very underrated fighter, very underappreciated. No, I just don't believe you can pick Shavkat. I don't believe you can pick Usman. He's not his prime. I don't believe you can pick Leon because Belal just smoked him. But the reason I chose Belal is in my opinion, he's a top 10 grappler in MMA. He was taking down Leon Edwards left and right, dunked him on his head, out-grabbed him easily. He showed very good defensive grappling against Damian Maia. He also shook off Gilbert Burns takedowns. He ran through Wonderboy on the ground. I believe it was 2 10-8 rounds. I believe he ran through Wonderboy. Has a very good resume against guys like Gilbert Burns, Sean Brady, Vicente Luque, Leon Edwards, Stephen Thompson. It's a very good resume. And people also don't pay attention to Belal Muhammad's fight IQ. He has extremely good fight IQ. He does not go into a fight with an ego. He fights how he should fight. Against Leon Edwards, he did the right game plan. In Leon Edwards' past fights, he has problems with guys who pressure, put him against the cage, and just takedown after takedown, constantly give him something to think about. That's exactly what he did. Smart game planning against Gilbert Burns. You can say he had one arm, but Belal Muhammad was also coming off Ramadan. He took a smart approach to that fight. He was not trying to brawl with Gilbert Burns. We saw how Gilbert Burns gave Hamzat Chimaev a tough fight when Hamzat decided to brawl, and Belal Muhammad did not brawl. He kept it a technical match. Very good performance there. Stephen Thompson did not entertain the striking like Kevin Holland did, trying to entertain the striking. And, his boxing is also improving, too. He outboxed Leon Edwards. I believe he wobbled Leon with an uppercut. I think it was the first round. He actually wobbled Leon. And he also TKO Sean Brady. So, yeah, my welterweight pick is Belal Muhammad. Oh, yeah. And I also believe he beat Shavkat Rakhmonov by like a 48-47 or a fifth round stoppage. In the middleweight division, I chose Robert Whittaker. I don't believe you can go with Israel Adesanya. He's pretty one-dimensional. I don't believe you can go with Jerkins du Plessis. I don't believe you can go with Sean Strickland either. I just believe that Robert Whittaker is the most skilled fighter. The reason I chose him is because I believe he's a top 15 striker in MMA. He outstruck Jerry Cannonier. He outstruck Marvin Vettori easily. He beat up Kevin Gastelum bad, made him think about retirement. He outstruck Yoel Romero compared to what Easy had did to him, and he recently just smoked Ikram Aliskerov, which is a win that's going to age very well. So he basically beats up easy opponents better than he does. Basically, he has great wrestling defense. Now I wish we could see more of him defending takedowns and stuff like that. But based off the past, he was stuffing Yoel Romero takedowns. He was stuffing Derek Bronson takedowns, and he also has a background in wrestling. And he's also a very slick wrestler himself. He has good wrestling. Took down Marvin Vettori, took down Kevin Gastelum. He was taking down Izzy in their second fight. So he does mix in his wrestling very well whenever he does shoot. So yeah, this is why I chose Robert Whittaker for the middleweight division. In the light heavyweight division, I'm going to choose Jan Blachowicz. Now, you could go with Magman Goliath. I would not mind that either. But I'm going to choose Jan Blachowicz. He's a great kickboxer. Very good leg kicks. Underrated boxing. Has very good defense as well. Very good leg check defense. Some of the best leg kick defense I ever seen. He also has some good rest offense. He took down Israel Adesanya a lot, controlled him a lot. He took down Alex Pereira, did some good work there. And in my opinion, he beat Alex Pereira. I believe he won the first round. And I also believe he won the third round. Striking, by the way. He also shut down Israel Adesanya. Outstruck him for the first 3 rounds of the fight. Then the last 2 rounds, he started to mix in his grappling and got a smooth decision up over Israel Adesanya. Also knocked out Dominic Reyes, and he knocked some more guys out. I don't know their names. Well, I know their names, but I probably just forgot. I didn't check his resume, but he has a pretty decent resume. Had a very close fight with Magomed Goliath. He was hurting his leg. I was striking him. And I believe he can beat Alex Pereira in the rematch, 5-rounder. Because I believe if that fight was never in Salt Lake City, which Pereira is going to be fighting very soon against Cody Roundtree, which is a very dumb fight. I believe he beats Pereira if it's not at altitude. But yeah, I'm picking Jan Blachowicz for light heavyweight. And for heavyweight, this is a no-brainer. You have to pick Tom Aspinall. You cannot pick John Jones. He only has 1 fight at light heavyweight. You just cannot pick John Jones. Aspinall, he's just simply too fast for these heavyweights. He's the most dangerous man alive. Also has very elite grappling. He smoked what's his name? Andrei Arlovski on the ground. He smoked Alexander Volkov, a win that's aging very well. Smoked Curtis Blades. Smoked Sergey Pavlovich. Also beat some alright guys like Marcin Tybura, Sergey Spivak. Like, he's basically cleaned out the division. Wins over Blades, Volkov, Sergey, Spivak, Tybura, and soon to be Suragan too. Like, I just believe Tomas Small is just levels above these heavyweights,